Apple's quarter results are in, millions of iPhones sold so far. FaceTime makes it to the Mac, though not everything is okay just yet. And it seems RIM is not too happy with Steve Jobs' recent sales results. All this and more coming up right now. Hello everybody, I'm Jaime Rivera and welcome to the Pocketnow iReview, the show where we go through all this week's cool and the not so cool inside the world of Apple's iOS devices. Let's start off this week with the cool. Now, Apple's quarter results are in, and guess how many iPhones were sold in just that quarter? 14.1 million. Yeah, that's a lot of iPhones. And given Apple's business model where they only have pretty much one device being sold on one carrier in most of the countries that they work with, you could say that's pretty much enough. Now, one of the astonishing things about this figure is the fact that RIM only sold 12.1 million of their gazillion types of BlackBerries in their ton of carriers in each of these countries, which is pretty much a lot. This is pretty much the first time that Apple has such a large number of sales, and it's pretty much the first time that they sell more than smartphone king BlackBerry. And according to Apple, RIM is not going to catch him anytime soon. No numbers are Android because you know there are a lot of carriers and a lot of OEMs that sell smartphones with Android, and they only reveal the amount of phones that they sell, but they don't tell you how many Android devices were sold. So given the fact that Google didn't really mention much about their results, you could say iPhone and Apple are right. Really cool. Now, if you remember our old rumors about an iPhone 3.2 and a 3.3 being rumored to be existent somewhere, it seems that it's been confirmed that these devices are already out in the blue being tested. Now, nothing's confirmed just yet. Where's Gizmodo and a guy in a bar when you need them? But it seems that it's already out there, and a lot of the possibilities are that this is the CDMA iPhone that we've been waiting for in Verizon. Now, continuing on with the iPhone Verizon news, it seems that this iPhone will also be a world phone. Why? Because apparently it'll also carry the SIM card and the CDMA radio from Qualcomm that it's been rumored to be out there somewhere. We'll see what happens in the end. Now, Apple's Back to the Mac event happened this week, and you guessed it, it had everything to do with the Mac. But one of the cool things that happened for iOS devices was the fact that Apple just released a version of FaceTime to work on the Mac so that you could call iPhone 4s and the new generation iPod Touch. Now, the only problem with the application is it's currently on a beta. There are a couple of flaws that we're going to talk about in the not so cool section, but you know, the cool thing is that it's happening. You know, you can now FaceTime with Macs, and probably the only question left is, do you FaceTime? I know I don't really do FaceTime that much because there's really not many people to FaceTime with just yet, but the feature's there. Now, as we mentioned last week, it seems that the rumors are true. The dev team has just confirmed that Snowbreeze and the Pocketnow tool, I hope I pronounced that right, are going to be able to jailbreak your iOS device for life as long as it carries an A4 chip. Now, we're not going to confirm this just yet because, you know, this is Apple hardware and it can be, you know, changed at any time, but according to the dev team, the only way that Apple can fix this is if they recall hardware and change the chip because it has to do with the firmware. Well, if they say it, they're the experts, I'm going to believe them. Let's hope it's true, and let's hope that the iPhone 5 and any other releases in the future keep the A4 chip and being jailbroken. And yeah, if you're a big fan of Angry Birds, just like millions of us are, I know you'll be happy to know that Rovio just released a special edition of the game for Halloween with new levels and more difficulties. Really cool, it only costs $1, and it's available on the App Store as of now. So, aside from the news that EA bought the developer, let's see what happens with Angry Birds in the future. Okay, so that does it for the cool. Let's continue on with the not so cool. The FaceTime Beta version that Apple just released for the Mac is really cool, but the problem is there seem to be some security flaws with the application. It seems that your security questions and everything you have on your Apple ID, which is your same iTunes ID, is available in plain sight and in plain text for everybody to see in the application, which is really not cool. Let's see, and let's hope Apple fixes this on future releases. Remember, this is just a beta, but definitely something we have to report. Now, it seems RIM CEO is not too happy with Apple's recent claim that they sold more iPhones in a quarter than RIM sold their gazillion versions of BlackBerries in their tons of carriers that support them. Now, why is this not so cool? Well, we don't mind the comment. He said that Apple lived in a distorted reality and that they're not really close to what really happened, but I'd put my money where my mouth is. How about if RIM CEO brings their results and really tells Apple that they're wrong? That's the real thing that should happen. That's it for today's iReview. Thank you very much for watching. Any questions or comments you have about this video, let us know in the comments on the post or in twitter.com/PocketNowTweets or youtube.com/PocketNowVideo. That's it for now.